Good evening, everyone. You're here because you want to make money off of crypto and you want to make multi-millions. So you may be wondering why I'm hiding my face. I prefer to stay in the back end. That's the purpose for this. Today, I'm going to talk about top narratives, talk about top projects within those narratives, although I might not talk about every narrative just yet. First narrative that I want to start off with is the narrative that I believe is going to be the strongest this cycle, and that's artificial intelligence. It's not necessarily the objective of investing in AI gimmicky marketed projects. That's not something that I like to propose here. Mainly projects with a specific use case. The sector that I'm hitting in for AI is specifically towards decentralized GPUs, decentralized computing, blind computation, decentralized LLMs. Speaking of which, let's go to that project. So LLM best model is going to be BitTensor or Tau, pretty much the Bitcoin of AI. That's what it is marketed as. Has the same halving cycle as Bitcoin, not token release, but same inflation as Bitcoin. So mining rewards are projected as kind of like a mirrored effect as Bitcoin. And that's why I believe we'll get a lot of hype, especially for newcomers that come into this space. They're going to look for the next Bitcoin, and BitTensor is really going to stand out, especially hitting that AI narrative. Price prediction, what do I think it's going to hit? Currently, I believe around 480. I expect it to go quite a bit up, I think near a 15 to 20x. So my personal prediction is 7K. That will be roughly at, I want to say, a sub 70 billion market cap. Is that possible? Yeah, absolutely. We saw Ethereum jump from 89 to well past over 500 billion, and absolutely possible if Tau with Nvidia with their conferences going on as well as with the hype and everyone freaking out over GPUs, microchips and such and semiconductors, that whole industry is so focused on AI. I'm not surprised this is the case. This is mainly essentially for like a decentralized AI. So people are able to use Tau as rewards on top of utility. But there has been some speculation that this is quite a useless project and it's so complicated that people have yet to understand. Although I will say that I have gotten in pretty early, so the risk to reward for me is quite low. So I could gain a lot, but I won't lose much if worst case happens. Next blue chip, render. Don't really need to explain that, but pretty much GPUs at a decentralized level for access towards users using AI could be used in the gaming space, the animation space, even creating AI agents digitally. Use case is huge. Industry, we're talking a couple trillion. Something that I finally want to mention, there will be a token coming out called ASI. That is a collaboration with Ocean Protocol, Singularity Net, and Fetch AI. ASI is going to be the next big boy to watch out for, and I highly believe that's a blue chip, especially with all three teams collaborating. These three projects alone are fundamental AI projects for this cycle, especially. All right, next RWAs. Why? Bitcoin ETFs, BlackRock getting involved, BlackRock sharing the news about tokenized assets, tokenized real estate bonds, treasury securities, stocks, everything. Last research I did, tokenization accounts for 41 trillion USD. Quite crazy. I don't really expect that to happen, especially in the next 10 years. And we won't get started with XRP, QNT, those ISO tokens. But what I want to focus on is essentially my favorite, and you can get in early. It's called NXRA, formerly known as Alliance Block, now known as Alliance Block Nexera. Was originally hacked but released a new token with better tokenomics with a lower supply, super micro cap if it accounts for, let's say, 150 billion. Is that going to happen? Not this cycle, and maybe the next cycle if it's lucky enough. But you go on the website, you look at their partnerships. They're a partner with projects that I have mentioned earlier, such as Ocean, QNT. It's going to get quite interesting with this project, and you will be early on. I don't necessarily like to focus on GFI, Centrifuge, Dusk. I feel like that's basic. NXRA is the only cryptocurrency project that is partnered with the London Stock Exchange, which gives them access to thousands and thousands of companies. Every other RWA project, I don't think, can ever say that. That's something I would definitely keep in mind. Another blue chip, Base ecosystem. So within the Base ecosystem, it's been blowing off just because of Brian Armstrong. Why is this the case? Base doesn't have a token yet, but it is a Ethereum L2 created by Coinbase, also known as a publicly traded company through cryptocurrency. With that social proof established across all political environments and global economies, when new users enter, there will be lots of users figuring out about Base and learning to use Base. And where does all that liquidity flow? Obviously, through an exchange. Aerodrome, the decentralized exchange of Base. Aerodrome jumped quite a bit, currently at 1.8 USD. So I expect one Aerodrome to be worth around 40 to 100 USD. How I got that figure was comparing to Uniswap. Everyone's comparing to Uniswap. I get that. But in this case, it's a little different just because we're talking about an IPO company and their own built layer 2 versus Uniswap just being a DEX for Ethereum. Not undermining Ethereum at all, of course, but talking about an IPO company. So Aerodrome is definitely my biggest watch list. If you invest, let's say, 9,000 in Aerodrome right now, you could potentially be hitting 2 to 500,000. Of course, none of this is financial advice, but I'm just telling you based off what I have experienced, what I have seen. You'll come to know later in time that I mean real business. Next, DK Swap Finance, mega microcap, just had a crash like every other project due to the war speculation between Iran and Israel. It's a DEX for ZK Sync. You may be wondering why that's important. ZK Sync has yet to come out as a token, but essentially what ZK Swap Finance does is you're able to trade Ethereum to almost any other token. It doesn't have to be under the Ethereum smart contract address and such. It can literally be traded with any other token. With that exchange, you also get refunded credits, and those credits can also provide rewards for you for providing more liquidity into this. Don't expect huge growth just because it's a super micro cap and we're talking about a new layer 2 coming out. So it's going to be quite interesting. It's more like a fun play, but just wanted to mention as I am bringing up Aerodrome as well. Those are the main blue chips. I will say we'll get more in depth over time, especially as certain requests come in. This is just the beginning. We will get to plans, we will get to complex plan strategies to really hone in on making that seven figure. We'll talk about risk management, analysis, portfolio diversification, industry analysis, working with teams, how to do research for each project systematically without necessarily having subjective biases. So that's going to be pretty exciting stuff. But with that being said, a lot more content coming forward soon, but just want to get the word out there. So let's get excited for the cycle. Make sure you save some money and we'll just move forward from it. Thanks for tuning in. Take care, everyone.